two tough matches. Separated two finalists from two losers yesterday, as Novak Djokovic and Andy Murray advanced to the Wimbledon men's final. This will be the second Grand Slam final they've contested this year, with Andy Murray losing to Novak Djokovic in the 2013 Australian Open final in 4 sets. It's going to be a blockbuster final, number 1 versus number 2. Murray looking to end in preposterously long drought of British players having not won the Wimbledon men's title. So far this year, both players have been very, very impressive. Both won 3 titles. Djokovic 33-5, Murray 27-5. And their head-to-head record, very, very close against each other. Very close. 11-7 to Djokovic. But recently, they've really had some competitive matches against each other. The U.S. Open final last fall, which Murray took in 5 sets to claim his first Grand Slam crown. Then Djokovic turned around, won the next 3. Very, very tight fashion in the Shanghai Masters. And then the World Tour Finals round-robin match. Both of them 3 sets coming from a set down. And of course, the Australian Open final this year, in which Murray got injured early, late, mid in the second set, and Novak took advantage and took the last 3 after dropping the first set. This is the final that, honestly, that my head told me was going to be from the start of the tournament. As much as I wanted to say I thought Federer was going to get number 18, I kind of figured it would be Murray and Djokovic whenever it all started, because they're the 2 best players in the tour right now. They're playing unbelievably consistent. You know, they've been consistent the last 2-3 years. They've been the best and most consistently good the last few years. You know, I know Federer's won major, Nadal's won a couple majors, more than Murray, but think about it. Murray's been consistent every year. Year in, year out. He's been there the last 4 or 5 years. This is going to be a really interesting match because, for one, I think grass gives a slight advantage to Murray because Murray's a guy who likes to use slice, likes to keep the ball a little lower, not so much use topspin to kick it up, but more or less keep it down low on his opponents. And that could potentially give Djokovic some trouble because of the way that, you know, he likes his strike zone, and bending down low for a lot of low balls is going to give Murray some opportunities. I think the fact that Murray has the British crowd behind him was going to absolutely juice him up, going to psych him up emotionally. He's going to be ready to go. I think it's going to be a hell of a war. I mean, we saw what Djokovic and Del Potro did yesterday in the semis, and then, of course, you know, Murray finishing off Janowicz in 4 sets. Two absolutely phenomenal matches. 2 phenomenal matches, you know. I got to say that Del Potro really pushed Djokovic more than I thought he would. I thought Djokovic would wipe him out in straights. I thought, Del Potro's injury, you know, had a little bit of luck getting through this far. Not so much. Del Potro's aggressive, went for his shots, you know, connected on some of them. Djokovic was just a better player and outlasted him as the match wore on. And I think in the second match with Murray and Janowicz's inexperience got the best of him. Murray took advantage of the last 3 sets. I mean, Janowicz dropped a lot of aces on Lucas Kubat and Nicolas Almagro in 2 matches on the way to get to the semis. But he only had like 8 or 9 against Murray, and I was not surprised he didn't have more because Murray is really tough to ace, you know. This final is going to be a war from the baseline, the way these 2 guys play, you know. Both been in Grand Slam finals. Both have won majors. Both have been playing each other for a long time. They're only a couple of days apart in terms of how old they are. Been playing each other for years. They've known each other for years. 2 best players in the world right now. But who do I think is going to win? Let's break it down shot by shot. I will give an edge in the serve to Djokovic, but barely. It's because his serves don't sit as much as Murray's do. Murray's have a tendency to sit up a little bit. Djokovic's second serves don't sit up as much, and they're a little more aggressive. The forehand will give an edge to Djokovic because what makes his forehand so good is the fact that he's improved that so much because it's more consistent, it's rock solid, can hit with topspin, can hit angles, can hit it big. It's just a very, very complete forehand now. The backhand, I give an edge to Murray. I say Novak's backhand's one of the best in the game, but I'll give Murray the edge because he's got that slice that he can use to sort of change of pace. Good returner, can disguise a drop shot, can really hit his two-hander really good if he wants on the run. Great passing shot. Djokovic can do all those things. It's just Murray does them, I think, a little bit better. Movement on the baseline, pick your poison. You got the ability that Djokovic has to, to grind and just get balls back. You've got Murray's ability to use his movement as aggressive as he can because, he's the ability to hit winners on the dead run. You have it all with these guys. They're complete players. They're total complete players. You can't say one player does one thing better, not much better than the other. Even though I said the serve and the forehand go to Djokovic and the backhand goes to Murray, it's not like it's by a wide margin. It's not. Very, very close. Almost a push on every category. If I could give one big advantage to either player, I would be Murray and at the home crowd. Intangibles. Intangibles can mean all the world in just about anything. You look at so many of the greatest upsets in sports, and a lot of times a crowd had a lot to do with the reason why it happened, particularly in college football. Like you watch college football every year, and you see an unranked team or a team ranked low in the polls take out the number 1 or number 2 team in the nation, and you wonder what happened? Simple. Underdog had a home crowd advantage, and they rode it all the way to a victory. That's what happened. They played those games on the road, they wouldn't win. I think also losing last year's Wimbledon final to Federer, I think is invaluable to Murray's confidence to play on grass because he gave Federer a hell of a match. Hell of a match. 4 sets. 4 tight sets. 4-6, 7-5, 6-3, 6-4. And Federer is arguably one of the top 2 or 3 greatest grass court players in the history of the game. And Murray almost beat him. Right after Federer looked pretty damn invincible beating Djokovic. And then he turns around the Olympics a few weeks later, final against, beats Djokovic in the semis and straights, gets the final against Federer and just mops the floor with him. Then he wins a warm-up tournament in Queens prior to this one, so he's got a hell of a winning streak going on grass right now. And if you add in Wimbledon and that loss in the final last year, he's had a hell of a run on grass this past year. So he's really figured out how to play on this stuff. It suits his game well, Can hit the spins he wants, can hit, a lot of the shots. It suits Djokovic well, too, because, his serve and his forehand are bigger because the grass really takes liking to the speed. He can really hit through the ball. But I think it's going to be a really tough final. I really can't, pick a winner either way. You can say Djokovic because, he's got more majors, he's hungry, he's number 1, he's playing well. You could say, Murray because, the home crowd, he's on grass, he played well on grass, he's going to finally end that British drought. You can say so many different things that are going to happen. But I truly think, and I must be in love with the nation with the United Kingdom or something. But I think Andy Murray breaks the drought this year and wins this title. I think he does. And here's why. Number 1, he had the less taxing semifinal. Djokovic and Del Potro beat the living hell out of each other for the better part of 5 hours. I know Murray dropped a set to Janowicz, but really, was he ever in danger of losing that match? No. I think having that 2-set comeback against Verdasco was great for Murray's confidence because it showed he can come back. I think Djokovic will be a little more tired than Murray will be. I think Murray's going to be able to take the initiative, and I think that this home crowd is going to really make an impact. Think about it. They haven't had a British male win this title, I think, since, 1936, Fred Perry? That's 77 years right there. 77 years since a British man won Wimbledon. Believe me, he's going to be playing for that too. So, the pressure's up on him. In a way, Novak has nothing to lose. Think about it. He improved his position from Wimbledon last year, made the finals, opposed to losing the semis. He's going to gain points. Murray's not going to lose any points. Look at Djokovic. He's going to be loose, relaxed. Got Murray. He's got the whole crowd behind him. You can either do one of two things when you've got a crowd of your supporters. You can be... How can I put this? You can be a Todd Martin. You can be a Patrick Rafter. Because Pat Rafter, early in his career, at the Australian Open, he struggled because he felt the weight of the crowd. When he finally used it his first year, almost beat Andre Agassi on rebound ace, something that Agassi has feasted on in his career. Then you look at Todd Martin. How many comebacks did that guy have at the U.S. Open? How many? I lost count because the guy would get down, make a comeback, and the crowd would just be on. He would ride the crowd to a victory. I think it's going to have a lot to do with how Sunday's final plays out. Because if the crowd's into it, if they're rocking, if they're, feeling it, I think it can go Murray's way, and I think it's going to. I think Murray, in a repeat of the 2012 U.S. Open final, in 5 sets no less, takes out Novak Djokovic and wins his first Wimbledon.